Like, I love that we had a home game there because it felt like everybody was in tune, whether they had ever been to a Steeler game or not. Well, they talked about Rodgers and they said he was in his Ashton Genty stage. So,
he was chilling there. It was 10-on-11 that play. He took the play
I
off.
will say one of the hardest hitters, Ray Malagu. Golly, man, he hit me one time, Cam. I'm talking about right. I was dizzy for 10 plays.
Pounce, you got in plenty of fights during practice too.
Oh yeah, 100%. We jumped you that one time. Remember that auto line?
Yeah, you jumped me, and then Ham came in.
Ham always had to get the extra push, man. He was just one of them dudes. I don't know if
No,
he's still
I ain't
like
trying
that.
to get the extra
Have you
push. I
grew
just
up
wasn't
yet?
going to be pushed around. Support for this show comes from Starbucks. It's finally here. No, I'm not talking about fantasy football. 4 words: Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. Embrace fall with this seasonal classic pumpkin spice latte. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, and real pumpkin. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Get it while it's hot or iced. All right, guys, welcome back to Not Just Football. We are coming off of Ireland, and man, Hayden, it was a week to remember. There was good, there was bad, but damn it, we got the damn win. How happy are you about that?
It was great. I woke up early in the morning, had a Guinness before the game to honor you guys playing in Dublin, and then enjoyed, I thought, what is probably your most complete game as a team all year. I think it was a little closer than it needed to be, but you guys looked really good on both sides of the ball. I thought you guys dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball for the most part. What'd you think of the game? You got to be happy with your defense the last 2 weeks, right?
There's bright spots and there's things we can work on. One, I thought our turnovers are still being present in this game. I also thought we did a much better job of stopping the run, which led to us being able to rush the passer. You watch TJ, you watch Nick Herbig, you watch Keanu Benton really take advantage of this O-line. But on the flip side of that, as a defense, we got to make them surrender 3. A couple times we got them to it was like 4th and whatever in the red zone. We got to get off that field and shoot. It's not even 3, it's 0. And so we gotta clean that up. And then I just thought there was more opportunities for us to have more splash. I know, I thought the fumble at the beginning of the game, I thought we had that going the other way with Jalen Ramsey. We got some injuries in the game, but man, it was a fun atmosphere to be around. Watching them play Zombie in the middle of the game and everybody singing to that was really cool. And just the atmosphere having 80,000 plus being involved in a Steeler game was really cool.
What was the atmosphere like there? Obviously, I didn't attend, but it looked pretty sweet on TV. How'd you think it was in person?
It was awesome. We had the best weather. I wish the fans could have been closer. There was a barrier really separating us because we were playing almost on a soccer field. But it was fun to be a part of. It's fun to win because that just puts the exclamation on top. But European countries and just being over on the other side of the world, you can see they take sports seriously. And to watch them just be in tune, get really excited when Renegade comes on. I love that we had a home game there because it felt like everybody was in tune, whether they had ever been to a Steeler game or not. And it was really fun. I know there was a swing of events that just happened where it was like, oh, man, just back and forth, you get whiplash. But overall, the fans were involved in this game from the get-go.
Yeah, I want to talk about a few plays in the game. Your defense, I think, had 6 sacks and another 10 QB hits. Why were you guys able to get so much pressure on them? Like you said, TJ, Nick. I think Keanu has officially 2 sacks. Derek Harmon batting ball at the line of scrimmage. What was working this weekend against the Vikings?
I think the first thing was stopping the run, dude.
That's simple, huh?
We talk so much about putting ourselves in situations where we can rush, but there wasn't a lot of long rush attempts in the game. I think we were able to keep them out of those quick passes for the most part, and that led to us then being able to rush. TJ's got a chance to move all in down the field. Nick Herbig really coming off the edge. Keanu Benton, man, I thought he had a really dominant game. But, when you can get after the run that way, you're going to give yourself more opportunities.
Yeah, really happy for Benton. I think that guy's been taking it from the fans. And I think it was great to see him really have a great game. Another play I want to talk to you about was the TJ pick. You wanted that one bad, didn't you?
Like the catch?
Yeah, you wanted that
Oh,
one.
I didn't even see where it was at the time. So I was
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know where it was what, and I heard everybody like kind of gasping when he caught it. I was like, go ahead, do what you got to do, but I didn't even know where it was.
Did you see his? I mean, you saw a celebration after, right?
When he punted, and then somebody asked me,
ball.
yeah, he's always messing around like that in practice during training camp. But it's funny because I got asked after the game, do you think TJ could be a good punter? And I was like, he's a better bartender than a punter. So,
Nice.
But we had a lot of fun, and man, I was glad he picked that off because it kind of just it made everything just kind of avalanche at that point.
No, it was a huge play in the game. It really was. But I saw a clip today of him like losing his mind. He just sprints to like the 10-yard line, punts the ball, then rips his helmet off and just starts celebrating with the fans. Yeah, and also too, TJ of course thinks he would be a good punter, right? I mean, the guy's confidence is really high.
Kicker, punter, quarterback.
Another play I want to talk about, the Payton Wilson chase down of Jordan Addison. That's a huge play in the game that I don't think, obviously I believe there was probably a busted coverage there. Jordan Addison was too wide open. But what do you think about that? A linebacker chasing down Jordan Addison. And that was a huge play because it forced them to take a couple more snaps and waste more time off the clock. That is a huge play that I'm sure Tom will be showing people for years to come.
So let's explain that play. We were dealing with injuries and we were having to move everybody around on the field. So you didn't know who your nickel was because your top two nickels were down. And so when we were substituting, it was like a safety position to a nickel's position are completely different in that call. And that led to a busted coverage. But man, props to Payton Wilson for running his ass to go make that play. I think he reached over 20, 21, but
I think it was like 22 miles per hour he had hit.
And that wasn't even the fastest of the day. But we talk so much about not giving up on a play. As a D lineman, you're kind of at the the subject of just the play because you're never going to get there. But he runs down, and to catch a wide receiver that moves that fast in stride and start, I think he got him at the 2, and then we got it all the way to a 4th and 5. And so I wish we could have got off on the field, but man, that kind of decided the game that you're not just going to get something easy, even though it was a busted coverage.
Yeah, in a game of so many big plays, I think to that one and think that was just maybe the biggest because, like you said, you were able to get them to 4th down. How much time did that tick off to really hurt them? Really, I thought a really good performance by your defense. And I was telling you last night on the phone, I was like, that was a weird game because it really, to me, felt like you guys dominated that game and were up, 17, I think, in the 4th quarter. It stinks they came back, but I think happy to leave Dublin with a win. One thing I want to talk about the offensive line. What do you think of their play? It looks like they added some new wrinkles, bringing in an extra tackle with Spencer Anderson. They ran the ball really well, probably their best performance running the football. Kenneth Gainwell had a huge game. Not sure what's going on with Jalen, but happy to see Kenneth Gainwell do too well too.
Yeah, I think Jalen was a late scratch, but to get Kenneth Gainwell going and him have success throughout the entire game, he was always moving forward, following forward. Even Caleb Johnson getting some totes in there as well. The offensive line provided big holes, especially in the running game. I think it never felt like there was an open man to make a play in the run game. Passing the ball, we got to clean up a couple things, but I thought the run game really established it. They felt very confident that we were going to get some, get a touchdown late. We didn't get it, but for the most part, the offensive line really dictated the pace with, the run game. And then I got to give a shout out to DK on that slant, man. That video of Aaron ripping a smelling salt before the play and then going out there, getting a slant, and you just see DK just pick up more and more speed. And he wasn't even the fastest guy out there, which was crazy. But, man, in these first 4 weeks, we have seen DK really just take off and provide that yak. It's special. I think that's something we've been missing from our offense for a very long time. Having those explosive plays and knowing that you have a wide receiver that, man, it doesn't matter where they're at. they got a chance to go the distance.
Yeah, I think he leads the league in yards after catch, and on Sunday he certainly helped that. I mean, I tell you what, he caught that football and he was like a bat out of hell. He was gone. I mean, that was, and to think how big he is too, and then he also trucked somebody at the goal line too to get in the end zone. Happy to see him get going. It felt like he was a big part of that first half. I think he had 4 catches for over 100 yards in the first half for a touchdown, so he was awesome.
In unsung effort, Calvin Austin delivering the block. I know we talk about him being a dynamic runner and, creating separation, but if you're willing to, give your body up for the group and, block when you're not getting the ball, that says a lot to the group.
No, and I agree. And I think that the reason why I thought Sunday was such a good win was I feel like every unit had a part in it. Like Ben Skoranek, man, every time that guy's on the field, it feels like he's making a play, whether it's special teams or making huge blocks in the run game. Guys that, Darnell had a big role this week. I saw even Connor taking the tush push, man. That was a pretty sweet thing. I know he played high school or quarterback in high school, so he's used to doing that. But I was happy to see Connor get a little bit of the tush push. Rodgers did not look like he had any interest in doing that. So maybe that could be Connor's role going forward.
Well, they talked about Rodgers, and they said he was in his Ashton Genty stance. So
he was chilling there. He basically took, it was 10 on 11 that play. He took the play off. But I will say a tush push with, I don't know who was next to Darnell, but with Darnell, Connor taking the snap, and whoever was next to him just shoving Connor. I don't know how you're going to stop that ever. But good win. Happy to hear you enjoyed Dublin. Is there anything else we need to know from your time in Dublin or the ride back or anything?
Last thing from the game, we got to give a shout out to this guy, DeShon Elliott, a.k.a. We call him Deli now. That's his new nickname.
Why?
You can call him Del. You can call him Deli. It's you putting the DeShon, you taking the DE and then adding the EL. So we've just been messing with him, calling him Deli. But, man, he came to perform. He got the big interception. Got a sack. Man, he was all over the field. It feels good to have him back in our lineup. Shout out to Dell for getting it done. We've been saying to him, "What the hell, Deli?" But
Jesus,
he hates it. But it really rings a bell with him.
He was amazing. That's a guy that you can really feel his presence when he's on the field and when he's not on the field. And I know, like I saw in our comments, people were saying, when I brought up the injuries to the defense, like it's an excuse, but it's not an excuse. You guys were down some serious pieces. Like how good has Nick Herbig been the last 3 weeks? You losing him week 1, really, or him not playing week 1 hurt, losing DeShon Elliott the previous 2 weeks. I mean, that guy's a huge part of the defense, man. Now you need to get Highsmith back and obviously Derek Harmon too. But get Highsmith back, get healthy, and I think the defense will just get better.
I think with injuries, you got to remember too, it gives a chance for an opportunity for another guy to step up. But with that creates depth. And during this long season, other guys are going to have to step up. You don't know who's going to get hurt. And so when we had those injuries and other guys step up, it's really going to bolster your depth as you get, further in this season.
Yeah, no, excited to see where you guys can go. Like I said, I think the bye week coming at a good time, get healthy, and then let's get ready for the second half of the season, I guess, right?
Yeah, get ready for the second half of the season. Ireland was awesome. Did you have a
Guinness? Did you have a Guinness?
I may have.
Did you have any? Okay, you may have had a Guinness. Okay, so was it as good as you remember?
Not 1, not 2.
Really?
Not 3.
Man.
Not 4.
Did you have a couple on the plane ride home? How was the plane ride home?
Not 5. Not 6.
Was this after the game or was it the whole time there?
I didn't have that before the game. I was locked in.
How was the plane ride home though?
Plane ride home was fun, man. It was really cool just hanging out with your teammates after a big win. Usually you get on those flights, it's an hour long or so, and everybody's shutting down. But we were told to stay up so you could sleep once you got home. And man, Coach T always talks about we're trying to capture the things we cannot measure. Man, that was a time we really captured some good team bonding. And it's hard in our game today. Everybody's on their phones. Everybody's got a million things going on. Everybody's got podcasts. But to have an opportunity to just be with the boys, talk about, Netflix documentaries, talk about guys having Netflix documentaries about them, the Enigma, talking about what's going on in their lives, how we can all just hang out. Coaches involved, like it was really special to be a part of.
Would you say this is one of the closer groups you've been around? Obviously, it's only been a month, but it seems like you're feeling the vibes there.
Good vibes, baby.
Good vibes. All right, hey, as long as the offense and defense are hanging out, that's all I care about.
And I will say, I'm responsible a lot of times for there being division because we practice so hard. I don't like any offensive players, but man, the offensive guys have really grown accustomed to me, and we really do hang out and just try to be more locked in together.
Well, it's good to hear, man. What do you got planned for the bye week? Anything going on, or are you just resting?
Resting, being a dad, taking the kids to school, trying to thank my wife. She took the kids over to Ireland, on the way back. My son threw up multiple times on the plane. So there's a lot of apologizing I got to do. So, but man, I'm trying to get back in good graces. If y'all don't see me next week, you know what happened. She got me.
Man, poor Cal got sick in Ireland, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better that he got on the way home. I feel bad for anybody who was on the plane with him, but hopefully he's okay. Tell him to get some fluids in him. But happy. So the family enjoyed Ireland too?
They enjoyed it. Cal got to drive a boat. My daughters loved the donuts, the gelato. They had no Guinness, but they had a lot of fun. They took a train to Galway. They got to see. They got to stay in like a castle in Galway, but man, it was a lot of fun for me and the family.
Did your wife have fun? That is the question.
I've already scheduled a massage for her. Let's say that.
That's a good husband. That's a good husband. Well, congratulations on your win in Dublin, and enjoy your week off, buddy. You guys have earned it.
Thank you. Congratulations to you too. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you. I know it was a little bit out of character to wake up and watch some football, but man, thank you for supporting, and thank all you fans for supporting too.
Yeah. It's funny. I will say our mentions are a lot nicer when you guys win and the defense plays well. So keep doing that, please. It's amazing how much nicer people have been the last 2 weeks to us and you personally. Compared to the first 2 weeks. So let's keep it up. We want people to be positive towards us.
Support for this show comes from Starbucks. The Real Pumpkin Spice Latte is now in season at Starbucks. As a football player, the end of July through August is always challenging. It's the dead of the summer. I've got coaches putting me through drills as we get ready for the upcoming season. It's a part of the game I love, but only one thing gets me through the season, and that's pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks. That's right, Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes are officially back in the starting lineup. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, and real pumpkin. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. I was able to get my hands on a few PSLs. I gotta say, they're pretty awesome. So now that PSLs are back, coffee lovers everywhere can enjoy all the fall moments that happen at Starbucks all season long. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, get it while it's hot or iced. Oh, snap!
Oh, look who's here.
Right on time, too. Look at it.
Man, where's the rest of Maurkice Pouncey? Where did he go?
No more. Bro, congratulations on the win, man. Defense played amazing, man. God,
not good enough. Too many damn points.
Yeah, y'all had a couple busted plays, bro. But listen, to get on that plane area with a W, it felt amazing, right? I will say Wilson, 41, biggest play of the game.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Running that down like that, it was crazy.
He looks like he knows the Steeler way. I like him.
All right, well, let me introduce you. Today we are joined by Maurkice Pouncey, soon to be Hall of Famer. He's in the Florida Hall of Fame. He's Ring of Honor for the Steelers. Man, it's a pleasure to have you on, brother.
Nah, bro, trust me. I told whenever marketing team, everybody reached out, Angela, everybody. I say, man, you know what? I love Cam. That's the only person I would do it for. Tell him I'm so sorry because I missed last week. I wanted to reach out to you, but I was up there in Tampa at the Bloomin' Brands, so I didn't have time to get on the call. But man, congratulations on all the success, Cam. Man, I look at you, bro. You're like one of the brothers, bro, for sure, for sure. I'm so happy of your success. You're a heck of a player, a heck of a leader. I loved you when you was there. I loved you afterwards, and I love you the rest of my life, bro.
You didn't love me during.
No, no, not when we had to practice against each other, but when you had to go play against other people for sure.
My dude. Hey, before we get started, I want to shout out your liquor brand, JF
Yo, thank
Hayden.
you, bro. Heck yeah. Yes, the JF Haters, bro, is freaking killing it right now. We're in 25 different states actively. We got some major, national accounts that's been hitting it off for us. And it's been a cool little part of outside of the football world, right? I tell people all the time when you play football for so long, how, me and you have, it's kind of like a false reality, right?
Hmm.
Everything in your life is pretty much a yes. And, the only time you ever get a no is with your significant other at the house. And that's really a no, just so we're not arguing, you know what I mean? Like, but, but on the business side of things, everything's a no until you really start fostering the yeses, right? You got to get out there in your day to day. And I'm more busier now with the business side of things than I was ever playing, bro. Trust me, it's day to day. It's on the grind. I literally just ran back here, flew back from a distribution meeting down here in Deerfield Beach, dropped Mike off real quick. I almost told him, man, just come to the house, drop me off, and take the car. So,
Damn.
but yeah, life is good with it, bro. I'm just telling you, it's successful. We're on track right now to do a little bit over $3 million this year in the company.
Mm.
So all has been good with that part, man. But I tell people it's just like football, right? You can't just like stuff, right? When you like it, man, things will cheat on you, right? Man,
Yes,
if you
sir.
love things, man, they'll love you back. So
Mm.
that's the way you got to approach things.
Hell yeah. Hey, Pounce, what was it like being out in Ireland?
Bro, man, it was freaking awesome. And I will say, man, the people out there, the hospitality, you know, the the way they did it for Mr. Rooney, them, man. We went out there to the ambassador residency, got to go out there, hang around, check out everything over there, and just the people there, bro. Like, man, it just felt like we was at home. I'll say, and everyone kept calling me from. I don't know why everyone wants to call me when I start posting, outside the country. You don't even call me that much when I'm inside the country, right? But it's like, there's like, what does it look like over there? And it just reminded me of Pittsburgh, like Shady Side. I'm just like, it just when you're riding around downtown, just the places like going to it just felt like I was in Pittsburgh and Shady Side and hanging out over there in them type of areas. I'm like, man, this is why Mr. Rooney and the Steelers are drawn back to this place. But it was freaking awesome, man. We did the whole bunch of events that we had set up. Sometimes, man, when you travel around with the team, things get long and exaggerated. The events and stuff, everything was pretty quick. Just even the media road thing, but it was better, bigger than everything. It was back getting around the guys. You know what I mean? Like, older guys kind of brought me and you in, right? So like the
Yep.
keys was Ike. Pot Dog was out there, so James Ferry, I mean, it was cool hanging out with the boys again. So
How many Guinness did you have?
I probably drunk that place out of Guinness. I will say, I will say this though, I did finish out the Jack Daniels bottle from my 4 days there at the bar. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Hyatt.
Hey, Pounce, do you remember going to London and how crazy that trip was?
No, bro, that's the craziest part. I didn't remember my tore my knee that year, so I didn't get to travel with the team to go do the London trip. It was
Oh.
more my brother got to do it 4 times with the Dolphins, and I don't know if that's a
Mm.
good thing or a bad thing. Because if you play if you play in the London game that many times, is that a winning team or not? But
How much shit did you talk to Mike about playing for the Dolphins?
bro, a lot though. But this is the craziest part, bro. Like, and I used to argue with Mike sometimes, bro. And I used to tell him, I'm like, he was used to always say, man, you don't understand. Like, man, you're playing with the one percenter. You know what I mean? And the guy that just had I'm like, man, what the- you man, you got first round quarterbacks. You're on an all star team down there, and and then I hate telling this story sometimes too because I love Mason Duff and I think Mason's a really good player. You know what I mean? But it's just I hate even comparing people sometimes. Because when you start saying something about one person and it feels like you're talking bad about the other person, that's not what I'm saying at all. Right? What I'm
Hmm.
saying is that man, it made things a little bit easier because the way he could play the game. Right? That one time that you don't have to man hold that block that a little bit longer. You know, what I mean? Even if your guy is sitting in Ben's lap, man, he's still throwing a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like he's shrugging guys off, and it just I tell people with team success comes individual success, right? And he's one of them players that make individuals a lot better, right? And
Hmm.
I like to give them I like to give people a lot of credit because if you just think it's about you in team sports, man, that you really missed the boat, right? Now don't get me wrong, there's players that can sell on it, you know what I mean? But like there has to be other things that go in position and place for everyone to have success, right? And that's why I thought Ben, like he did that for a lot of us, correct? You know what I mean? He made some probably prolonged some of our guys on the offensive line career, even mine, you know what I mean? Like it's just realistically, like when you go like look at compare my career to my brother's career, right? It just goes on kind of like that's when I kind of like judge things on that kind of career path type thing, right? When you see the type of different players that we got to play with, James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, you know what I mean, all the big dogs on all Hines, you know what I mean, Big Ben, it just hits different when you have a team like that and they have so much career success and not even career success, but I mean overall success with their whole entire accolade success, right? So
Mm.
but I did that. So that, but back to what I was saying about that part of it, I ain't I'm talking bad about Mason. What I'm saying is that man, football was a lot easier when Big Ben was out there, dishing the things off. You know what I'm saying? But my brother always has that argument on me now because it was like a 10-year argument that I never ever understood it. And literally I'm going into like year 11 and it happens. Ben's not playing, and I call Mike like. 6 week in, I'm like, man, like, man, football is just a little bit harder this year. Because he used to always say this, he was like, man, because they would go through practice, right? And you know how, like, bro, we had a lot of touchdowns in practice. Like, Big Ben throwing touchdowns all day long. He was like, man, if you see 2 touchdowns in practice, it was exciting. And I'm like, how's that realistic? Like, I mean, obviously the defense was so freaking good at the end of our career. Like, we wanted the same offense, you know what I mean? So you guys, it felt like every week at practice, I was kicking our ass, you know what I mean? So it was easier to get to the Sundays besides playing against y'all. But yeah.
Man, Pounce, with you, I don't think you get enough credit for what you did for that offense. Man, you set the tempo for everybody. You are a leader, and you went out and you played hard and you ran to the ball. I've never seen a center get to the second level, get to the third level, and make plays the way you did. Like, and that's the way you practice. Like when I talk about you during practice, and Mike T would show your clips of you just going against another O-lineman trying to give a defensive line look, and you're trying to bury his ass. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. And
Hey,
not
that
everybody
was
gets
for
to see
you.
that.
Hey, Karen, that was for you too. Just to be like, man, listen, if Karen go down, put me in, coach. You know how I'm working over there. Nah, but man, I tell people because man, me and Mike all the time, we weren't the biggest, we're not the strongest, right? But you know what? We loved it, right? And when you care, man, I'm telling you, people like, man, in high school and college, man, talent, it's gonna outbeat hard work sometimes, right? Whenever you get to that next level and you're playing with the 1%er, man, hard work can outbeat talent. And you look at guys that we play with, Cam, that man, you just see how hard they work and see how long the reason why they made it. You know what I mean? But if they didn't work like that, you'd be like, there's no way this guy could have made it. Like a guy like Dangerfield, for example, right? Man, how good was he? A guy like Rob Golden, right? They just work so hard that you could just appreciate, you know what I mean, the career success and the amount of years that they play, right? So that's why I like to point that stuff out because we coach youth football now, right? Because my brother's son is a freaking all-star quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, if he was an offensive lineman, I'd be like, man, Mike, we ain't this dedicated to it, man. We need us a quarterback, bro. Like, yeah, like man, we gotta push nephew right now because he's doing his thing. But I like to tell these kids all the time, like man, because and parents, right? Like man, listen, everyone's not Tom Brady, right? And everyone's not gonna like. Because I think when they see their kids sometimes and they look at them immediately, they're like, oh man, he's gonna be the best player ever. Like man, what you do like at that age is man, make sure they love it, right? If they love the game and they'll be drawn to it, you don't know how much more that can foster out because football ends. And I'm just telling you, like man, people who are some of the most famous people playing football, they don't have a lot of relationships and they can't start businesses. The businesses, just automatically send because they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to get around the people that really make, reality in this world, right? Because we live in a false one. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, are we grown as men playing a sport? Yes, we are grown men, but it's a false reality. That's
Mm.
not real life. You know what I mean? You got a long time to live after that. So,
Pounce, one of my
but
favorite.
Hayden, I almost said so because I seen the Hayden thing and I'm like, man, what you trying to get into the company or something? Like,
Hey, he needs a bottle to try, right?
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
send a bottle my way.
I'm
I'll put
sending it
one in the
up to y'all.
back of
That's
the.
for sure.
Yeah, I'll put one in the back for you, Maurkice. That's all. I'd love to try it. Send it my way.
I will, man. I will. I'll get the information after we get off the call.
Yeah, sounds good.
Pounce,
How's everything else, Kim? How's your
everything's
life?
great.
Everything's good. I mean, I see you
Everything's
just
good.
got that
Fam is
that
good.
little upgrade. Congratulations. It still
Oh,
blows my mind, bro. You're playing so long and so well. I was telling the guys up there at the suite, the game, I say, man, Cam's still out there balling at a high level. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome to see, man, because it's just especially being there with you, bro. Me and being in 5 years of retirement and seeing, looking at the guys I play with, I'm just like, man, that's awesome. Like,
Well,
they're so
I know
congrats on that.
everybody talks about, Mike T made that one comment and he says, he regrets not winning the Super Bowl with you. And, watching you and Ben, like, I take that, like, I didn't get a chance to win the Super Bowl with y'all. And, because I like, you two were the two I always looked up to. And it still bugs me that, I don't have a chance to win that with you.
Man, you better. I told Aaron, y'all can make it right? So Aaron Rodgers beat us. So if you and Aaron can get us one this year, man, hey, listen, man, I just need one ticket. I'm coming.
Oh,
Who got?
you getting
Is
the
it,
ticket?
is it you? Is it him? But nah, it would be freaking awesome, man. But if you do get one, Cam, run with it, bro, because you know how special that is,
It
right?
is.
It's the ultimate feeling, bro, the ultimate success and everything, bro. Just like what you're saying about me, you deserve it too, right? Because you're that person in Pittsburgh, bro. You're the heart of Pittsburgh. Your foundation. You're bigger than football too. Like you're in the heart of Pittsburgh. Like you give back. Your foundation is amazing. Like so, don't ever forget that part because you're gonna be one of them players that can be a great example for people afterwards. Be like, man, this is how you do it because you're out there in the community. Like, man, the people when you throw events, they show up to it because and I'm just telling you right now, if you're just doing autograph signings, you done lost a whole angle because that's what they try to tell people when they first come into the NFL. Like, learn how to grow, learn how to be diversified, go around there, learn about business stuff. And I tell people too, like, man, find businesses that you really love. Like, don't let no one else convince you because I'm telling you, if you do, you're gonna end up hating them because if it doesn't go the way you planned, then you're like, man, you told me to do it because I trusted in you. Like, now find something that you really want to love. Like, when you're playing football, love that because it's already hard enough to wake up on a day-to-day battle to go in there and go against grown men and to think you're saying now I'm not saying don't in the off season maybe don't take your mind and flirt over here a little bit with it with different business mind and getting around people that or maybe even getting around them is just listening just taking notes from you know what I mean like fostering that type of stuff from them but to go out there and just say man I'm in my first contract and I'm gonna go out there and do all this business stuff like man you're losing what you really are you know what I mean so
Well, I always loved you in the community too. Like, it wasn't just I'm gonna show up. No, I'm gonna be a part of it. Me and you meeting with community leaders, meeting with police officers, trying to like just work through that. Then you inviting like police officers to games to be with
yeah.
other just kids in the community. Like, speak on like just your involvement with the community.
Yeah, so we was big on the north side, right? And we came up with this like plan to like, because all the, all the stuff that was going on, back with the George Floyd and the police and all the, people not mending together, right? And I tell people like, man, it's so hard to change adults. Like, man, you're gonna be able to change them month, 2 months, 3 months, but everyone is as you get older, man, your brain just kind of like tells you to, kind of revert to what you're comfortable with, right? But as
Mm-hmm.
kids, I'm just telling you right now, like you can mold them and you can assert certain things or and different programs to where they can see a bigger thing and vision right because sometimes you get when you're living we all live in this small radius right and we got lucky in life a little bit because you get to travel right you get to see different things so you understand that it's not just about the same school I go to it's not the same park I sit at or the same restaurants I eat at like what I mean you get to go out and see what different cultures do and what how life really runs itself right so we both got lucky enough to do that. But I will say, going back to the Pittsburgh part of it, you know, I thought that the organization, Mr. Rooney and everyone else did a good job of like making sure that they had their team captains involved in the community, right? So it more felt like not just the football part of like y'all have to do this part, like y'all need to keep doing what players before y'all did, right? Like man, make some type of impact to where Pittsburgh and Steeler Nation is always going to be able to remember all you guys, right? And I think that's like, well, as a being in a retirement, I don't think people really understand like how big Steeler Nation is, right? Like
Mm.
everywhere you go, like it just no matter what city you're in or anywhere you can find a Steeler bar, people just like that felt like homey people, right? Like people are not just trying to bug you and aggravate you. Like even in Ireland, bro, it was the craziest thing ever. Like we all walked out the stadium, me, Ben, Joey, Ike everyone and literally was walking with the 75,000 people just down the street high-fiving people. They're not trying to stop you saying man maybe if one guy wanted to sign something you probably would but guys just kept walking with you and everyone just walked right to the bus it just felt different what I mean and I'm pretty sure that most organizations are kind of not like that what I mean or most fan bases are not like that so
Mm. Go ahead.
I got one for you, Maurkice. Everybody knows your relationship with Big Ben. Why was that so special? You were obviously a younger guy when you got to the league. What does he mean to you, and how did that relationship get so strong?
Well, on the football side of it, I mean, you've seen exactly what it was, right? He made us all, a lot better, right? So
Yeah, for
it's,
sure.
it's like probably other guys, they play with Tom or they play with, the Manning brothers, or elite quarterbacks, it just that part of it there kind of says itself. But outside of that part, right? I think, coming from totally different type of backgrounds, right? But then, couple having the couple of hiccups at the beginning of our careers, and I think he was more like took me under his wing of that part of it because he didn't have to do that for me, right? Like he didn't have to try to coach me through some of the things or like and try to change my mindset like on how the media was or like because you don't understand it, right? They all have a jobs like and rightfully so, right? You're supposed to get criticized, you're supposed to have critics, like, but when you're going through the old school part of it and when you've never had it and we're going up on Nextels and that and when transition over and when the NFL just like overnight just does it, it's just like it's hard to understand that part of it, right? So you kind of like get stuck in this thing to like where you like is it always a battle against each other? But I think he kind of like showed me that kind of like man, look, like man, you got to suck some of them things up, right? Like kind of envision these type of things and like and start hanging out and where you want to see yourself older, right? And I kind of like, dang, like it just kind of like hit me like, he's right. I mean, so, and I think yeah, I gotta say my kids kind of helped out in that part too of it, right? Helped me grow up a little bit quicker too. But the relationship part on that side of it, I will say that we just probably mended together on a lot closer because he kind of had some steps in his life to where, and he kind of seen me going down the same type of path, right? So I think that part of it we made like a such and such a brotherhood part of it, and I just love him to death. I mean, we still talk all the time. It was cool to go over there and hang out with him over there in Ireland as well. But Ben's a type of dude that he's just, I mean, hell, Cam, you see how he dresses, like. He's just a real laid back type of dude. so, no, they're my type of people. But yeah,
Pounds. One of my favorite memories is during training camp, right? And I don't know how you did it, but you con Mike T. You guys play this game where we play. You throw the
the
football at
goalpost, yeah, throw the ball at the goalpost.
the goalpost, and it's
Yeah,
five. You
yeah,
go to
yeah.
5, 10, 15 as you hit them, and you had it at like the 40, and you said, "Mike T, if I hit that, we getting out of practice." And Mike T was like, "All right, bet." Pounds freaking hit it. And
This
Mike
the
T
crazy
called
part,
practice
right?
up.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
how wild this is. So this how wild this is, right? So they wanted us to get on the buses because it was about to rain that day too. So that was like the big thing. We're gonna have a walkthrough practice, and they want us to bus back to the city and have a padded practice there. But I was like, man, heck no, coach. Like we cannot do that. I say, coach, if I can hit this the goalpost from 30 yards away, we'll go up there right now, put on our pads and practice. Man, he said, Pounds, throw it. Man, I'm talking about, man, I reeled back. I swear to God, I felt like Big Ben. It was right there. Hit it. Ding! It wasn't. It wasn't even. It was everyone celebrating the training staff, and this is the craziest thing of the whole entire story. It didn't even rain that night. It didn't
No.
even rain the rest of the thing. Like so, like no matter what, we would have traveled there. It didn't rain in Pittsburgh. Like we would have still had the practice. But that was one of my biggest moments as a teammate because everyone got the biggest joy out of that. You know what I mean? But tell me that practice went hard, can y'all kick that?
Bro.
It was one of my worst practices, bro. I'm telling you, I was all over the ground. I'll never forget that. But the moment of throwing the ball was way bigger than practice. Coach T understood that.
we all appreciate you that day. We were like, this is gonna be a quick practice. Pounds did it for us. We appreciate this. It made the world to us. Everybody remembers that.
100%, man. Nah, all love, brother. Hey, matter of fact, you got to go do that after the bye week. Say, hey, coach, man, give us one more extended day.
No, my ass, I ain't gonna hit shit.
Nah,
Yeah, no.
I want to talk about that O-line room.
yeah.
You, Ramon Foster, used to be Willie Colon.
Mhm.
You had Juicy in there. You had Al Villanueva, Dave DeCastro. What was it like having you clowns in that room?
Man, it was the most. I mean, you seen it every single day, bro. We laughed. So Coach Tomlin used to walk past there, call us the laughers, or something like that. Do you remember that, Cam? Because man, the room was. Not only did we take things so seriously, but man, I think we knew how to have a good time with being serious too at the same time, right? And we got very, very lucky with how the older guys like Willie, Max, Trey, Kimiatu, like man, they built this brotherhood thing of like having guys hang out and making sure you was always with each other and having a really, really big bond with your brother and your teammate. Because when you get to that level, I don't think people understand sometimes it's not like college, right? And in a way of like hanging out, right, man? You got your family, you got other things going on, right? You're doing maybe some even some business things as you get older because you walk into this room and all y'all not the same age, right? Like, man, some guys, like when you came in there, Keys or, Hamp and all these other guys are there, and they're trying to bring in these young guys. You know what I mean? I think that the brotherhood and the way they taught us, to be around each other, because sometimes when you're making money, you're traveling, like, man, you can lose sight in the off season, like being with your brother, right? And I think we always kind of like naturally kept that bond. So our trips in the off season, we try to do one together. The guys were in town, like we made sure to go to dinner together. But during football season, like, man, we made sure one night out the week, because you're with a guy all the time, right? Every single day. Like literally at practice from, you got some guys 6 in the morning all the way to 5 o'clock at night. And you want to go home and decompress sometimes. And like, man, and I think sometimes when you don't have that, like when you feel like, man, I want to get away from my teammates sometimes. I think that's when you lose some of the brothership part of, right? Where you don't want to, like, you don't keep fighting for each other and want to play for each other all the time, because, man, football season, it should be about football season, right? Like, man, I get that you got other things going on, the family coming into town, but, man, they should be a part of the ride of it, right? Like, they should understand, like, man, it's bigger right now, because these moments for, man, the person who is playing is the biggest moments ever in life, because I'm just telling people all the time, because I didn't understand it. And it was like, man, listen, like, man, Pound's going to go to blink of an eye. And I'm like, nah, man, there's no way. Like, how can 10 years, 11 years go to blink of an eye? And literally, I'm 5 years retired now. And I'm literally running the alcohol company. You know what I mean? I'm traveling around a lot more. And I was just at the football game standing there like, man, that's what I'm telling you, bro. I'm looking at you. I'm like, this guy's still playing. This fucker's still playing. Like this guy, like, like it just completely blew my mind. But man, that's why I say, bro, keep going, bro, because you still look amazing, bro. And I'm just telling you, and I tell people all the time, because they're like, Pounce, why'd you walk away? I was like, because Pounce wasn't the same player, and I get I was the same leader, and I felt like, everything I was doing, like, I did all that right, did everything to steal away, but man, I myself and I wasn't the same player. I couldn't watch myself on film like that and be like, dang, that got a little bit pressure right there. Ooh, I should have got him on the ground. You know what I mean? Like that. That just. And I don't know how other people probably viewed like my play, because they probably thought it because they wanted me to keep playing, right? But I'm just me personally. When you have that in your heart, like, man, when you know, you know. You know what I mean? Like, and I know you played against me, Cam. I wasn't as strong as I was when I played at the very of my last year there, and I'm just like, man, hell no. Am I gonna come in one more year after the pandemic and like, I mean, hell, like, how am I gonna get stronger? Like, it was, I mean, there ain't no more red meat. There ain't no, what them burgers was there eating in Mexico that had
Oh,
the extra steroid meat in there. I had to go over there and get about 3,000 of them. You know what I mean?
Miles, I
Like,
see you watching yourself, but like you watch O-line now and really grade people and really know what's going on.
yeah, so I'm still drawn into the game that way, right? I just can't play the game no more. You know what I mean? So like,
Mhm.
but yeah, I do watch it. I think the guys did an amazing job. You know what I mean? I think, they like I always tell people that it's a passing league sometimes too. But man, without that run game, having that 100 yards or close to 100 yards per game, like, man, you just lose like the momentum of driving the ball down the field, right? But I think as I always like to say, man, there's a one sack or there's pressure on the quarterback. The guys as an O line we didn't play as well, right? Because some of them things, quick passes, like things like guys, just running straight through, getting a sack, like that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, now I get guys getting beat, like, what I mean, getting down, like a player getting like really really beat, and I get that sometimes with pressure and stuff, but like. Man, I view stuff a little bit differently, because I feel like, man, other guys can have perfect games at the offensive line. We can too, right? Because there's been other games where you play in them and there ain't no sacks. So why shouldn't that be, the ultimate goal, right?
Maurkice, I'm
Looking at
curious.
Zach, go ahead.
Oh, what was your welcome to the NFL moment?
So it was probably, man, it was crazy. So it was probably my rookie year, and I'm telling you right now, coach used to show the same play over and over again. But it was, man, and I wish it was probably, you know, who can I probably say, like, let me see, like maybe like Junior Seau or Derek Brooks who did it to me. But we're playing the Cleveland Browns, and this is rookie year, like 3, 4, 5 games into it. And Chris Goku, now you remember who that was? He was 51. He kind of like a light, small, like little bit linebacker. And I literally run up on him, Cam, and I'm just telling you right now, he hits me and just literally sits me right on my ass, and I'm like, what the? I say, there's no way that I was so fucking mad and disappointed at myself. Maybe that was just my moment of just more like saying like, hey, listen, don't take no one for granted, right? And I would have more in my mind just rather have been like a monster linebacker like this, had this prestigious career, 10 Pro Bowls, just be like, you know what, man, this dude really fucked me up. But it just showed me that look, you can't take anyone for granted, right? Man, I ran up on this dude on the inside zone play, like man, oh, man, I'm about to drive this dude out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Just take him down the field. And literally he popped me and sat right on my ass. And I said, you know what? That was my wake up to the NFL. And I called my brother after. I said, hey, listen, don't take nobody for granted. But I will say one of the hardest hitters, Ray Malagu. Godly, man. He hit me one time, Cam. I'm talking about right. I was dizzy for 10 plays. I said, you know what? I got you. I said, I'll never hit you up high. I'm going straight for them knees. And I love you, brother. But if you can hit like that, nah, man, that's long term damage.
Hey, pals, you used to run up on people so much. I could think of just two. Obviously the Mason Rudolph or Myles Garrett.
Yeah, yeah,
You were the
yeah.
first one to run in there,
Yeah, that
and
cost me. That cost me some good money, but yeah, hey, man, you know how it is with your teammates, bro. Like honestly, I expected more people to start swinging. And the craziest part when I go back and man, I was missing my swings, man, because DeCastro pulling, man, instead of him swinging, he pulling back. Like, man, I ain't got 12. I mean, how long my arms got to be, bro? Like, I'm trying to hit him with them quick punches. You know what I mean? But you know how it is. And plus, there was the Browns fan, so it just it just brings so much more to that rivalry. You know what I mean? Like.
and then the other time it was when Ben was running out of bounds versus
Mhm.
Carolina, and
Yeah,
you took
yeah,
care of
yeah, yeah.
Thomas Davis.
Yeah, and I
Or no,
yeah,
it
I
wasn't
put
even
the
Thomas
hand
Davis.
out.
It
That
was
one time it
Justin
was
Reed,
Eric
Air Reed.
he took
Eric
Eric
Reed.
Reed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, but he was man, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I
How
No,
probably
you
should have
did
important
said
is
right.
that,
that.
Marquise? How important is that as an offensive line? We talked to Aaron Rodgers this offseason. He was saying that he wanted to see his offensive linemen fighting in training camp all together, that it's important that if one goes, they all go, right?
I mean, we're playing a gladiator sport too, right? And at the end of the day, like man, when certain things like that happen, and I know they try to clean up like a lot of like the extended fights and all that other stuff, but like man, I don't want to minimize the part that man, what type of game we play is a vicious game, right? Now, if we're watching flag football and we're going to be watching Tom Brady in 2026, then I get it. You know, what I mean that should never happen at a flag football game. But if you're when you're watching in the NFL and guys that are out there, grown men, competing against each other at the ultimate level, like you're going to see some of that sometimes. You know what I mean? So like, and I get it too. Like man, some of that stuff for viewership and some of that stuff, like I don't know if it's bad or not. It might be good. Maybe they're just saying it's bad. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's not like the NFL's ever taken a setback from something like that, right? I mean,
Mhm.
as we know, when we was fighting for the CBA, Cam, they talking about the salary cap ain't gonna be that because we the pandemic, right? Man, I say, man, it's gonna be up 100 times that. Man, no one don't want to hear. I just seen Lester. He's like, man, Pounce, they miss you at the NFLP. I said, oh, man, I miss him too, but y'all didn't want to put me as president. I'd have been if I was the president of the NFLPA, man. Listen, man, we'll be right now 50-50 ownership, man. You know that,
50-50?
yeah, yeah. And if you played over 10 years, man, you get 1% of the team.
Well, shoot. Why don't we just
Wow.
make you the president then?
Yeah, sounds like
That's why I don't
ambitious.
want to do it, man. The owners get me. They conspire against me, man. Cause when I get to talking like,
Hey, Pounce, everybody likes to talk about how I used to get in fights. Pounce, you got in plenty of fights during practice, too.
oh yeah, 100%. We jumped you that one time. Remember that auto line?
Yeah,
On
you
them in
jumped
training
me, and
camp,
then
man. Cause
Hamp came in.
Cam was the extra man. Cam always had to get the extra push, man. He was just one of them dudes. I don't know if you
No,
still
I ain't
like
trying to
that.
get the extra
Have you
push. I
grew
just
up
wasn't
yet?
going to be pushed around.
Cut that out. You always like getting the extra push, whether you doing
No.
the pushing or you getting pushed around. But has you grown? Have you grown up from that yet?
Hell no.
Don't make me call. Yeah, I like that. I knew you because if you're gonna lie, I'm gonna text Coach Conley like, here you on here on this podcast, BSing the people.
Well, Cam, you should pull up the video from Ben's podcast where Maurkice was asked who would win in practice.
Me. Pounce, don't act different.
Yeah, you weren't gonna say 50-50. You just gonna say me. That see, I
You
was
You
said,
about
ain't
to
say,
hey,
say
I
hey,
will
me.
say
you didn't
I'm
even
you
glad I
say
said
let you. I'm
50-50.
2-0.
glad I let you answer first. Now I'm gonna say 50-50 for the people. You know what I mean? But that okay, I got it. Now I gotta go. Hey, let me call Big Andy and get the clips, man. I gotta get some clips sent my way.
Send them our way, Maurkice. We'll put them on the show. We'll put them on social for
Nah,
you.
because he gonna find some bad ones about me too. So no. And he got direct access right now. No,
Oh,
but man,
man.
Cam was a great player to play against. I tell man, that's why I tell people like, man, it was harder at practice than playing in the football games, right? The D line that we had to go against him, Casey, Aaron Smith, Peasel, like man, we went into the Sunday football games or whenever day we played on it was a lot easier, right? It was for us to pick up protections because we blitzed so much back then. You know what I mean? Our defense was one of the, I mean, known as literally the number one defense, in the whole entire NFL. So it made us better to play against them every day at practice and actually play against people in the game sometimes.
What was it like going against Hamp every week?
Man, when Hamp was chilling, it was nice. But when Hamp was going, man, you know how it is, boy. Listen, boy, it ain't no stopping Big Hamp. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Casey Hampton got enough credit in his career as far as like the whole NFL spectrum. How great he was. You know what I mean? He wasn't just a dude that couldn't pass rush either. That you know what I mean? Like he put a lot of pressure on the quarterback a lot of times. You know what I mean? So like, I hate that he don't get like a lot of that. Prolonged credit of how good he was as a nose guard, right? Because the NFL
Mhm.
kind of changed over, that era, you know what I mean? But as far as like era goes, man, he was one of the top dogs of that whole entire era, you know what I mean? So
Mm. What?
you've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. Hamp is still a dog. Shoot, both of
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
lost weight.
yeah.
I don't.
Well, I
What
know,
is the
right?
plan now, bro? How the hell are all y'all losing weight like this?
Well, Cam, I never made weight. My last 6 years in NFL, I mean, I never, made weight. I was always 285, 287.
Hmm.
So for us, me and Mike got fast metabolisms, right? So like for us, I probably should brag about it. You know what? Like man, I do three workouts a day. I only eat lettuce. You know what I mean? Like, but it was a lot easier for us to drop weight on it. But I will say I do the infrared sauna, and I got a bike inside of it, so I do that every single day. I
Hmm.
do no more than 50 pounds of on the heavyweight stuff like that. But a lot of cardio and abs. And then once you do that, and then I fast too, so I don't start eating until 12 o'clock, and then I stop eating at 6:30. And I'm just telling you, Ben, them first 2 to 3 months, man, you got to literally like tie yourself down to the bed, like literally like handcuff yourself away from the refrigerator. You know what I mean? Because we got kids, you know what I mean? Like it's very hard to not have like snacks and other like small groceries in the house and make you just easily go cheat, right? But
Hmm.
once you break that, the placebo effect, and like you tell your mind, like you really see like you don't need it, like you'll still have great energy, like. It's more about what you put in the body and like how you like literally have your schedule set up. You know what I mean? If you're not hanging out late at night, you know what I mean? Sometimes people look at my Instagram like, man, Pounce, you're always posting about the late. Like, yeah, I'm like, I know, bro. But like, if I was out drinking that many drinks, like, you know how like I wouldn't be able to walk around. You know what I mean? Like, that's just promotion, like because Instagram and social media is the best way of like marketing, for people growing the brand. Like, I don't. That's not our number one like the way we sell our products. You know what I mean? Because it's more relationship going out to the businesses. But when you want people to go inside liquor stores, because we're a big on-premise brand, right? So if you go inside of like for like a Capital Grill, right? Like you can get our espresso martini or our lychee martini with our products in it, right? But if you go to like we with Instagram and stuff like that, I'm more like doing that stuff for for off premise, like for the liquor stores. And you go like Total Wine, because like people start seeing the brand, right? It's hard. Have you ever in your life, Kim, walked inside of a liquor store and bought anything outside of a base spirit, so like a vodka, a gin, a rum? You know what I mean? Like most times when you go inside them grocery stores, that's what you're buying. You're not going in there saying, "Hey, I want to buy a liter liqueur," because and if you do, you say, "Hey, I need to get the vodka with it too." Even though our product has liquor in it, you still need the base spirit to make a cocktail, right? So,
Yeah. Damn.
but yeah.
uh,
But you see what I'm saying, bro? Like, listen, like, trust me, I
you
used to
on
talk
it?
about football like that. Now, like, y'all are sitting back, I'm telling y'all like that. Y'all are just sitting there, just like,
Where the
how
passion
other
is.
people, and we go talk to a high school team, you know what I mean? Be like, man, hey, this is the way football, this is scheduling. Like, they'll be just sitting there just like that, like, drawing all the way in. Like, I'm just looking at y'all when I was telling y'all, and both of y'all were just sitting there like, he know what the hell he's talking about a little bit.
Man,
But yeah, but up there in Pittsburgh, so we the Hard Rock up there, literally they have our drink on the menu there. So if you go inside the Three Rivers Casino, the Hard Rock, it was at a live or cafe in there. Like we're on the I think that's a cafe. Yeah, we have two drinks on the menu there. So
mm,
Mm.
we'll have to try.
yeah, no,
That
100%. I'm gonna send y'all the product too. So I mean, it's more for y'all as ladies, dude. Maybe you be making some cocktails,
I
But
should.
I want to see that.
the ladies will probably have more great time with our products, with their friends watching you play Cam. You know what I mean? Than you actually would, because you ain't going to home drinking. I can guarantee you that.
I might have a drink
Now
or two.
I'm gonna send you the whiskey. I'm gonna send you the whiskey, man. You gonna like
Okay.
that Twin Peaks whiskey? Yeah, 5 year age. We actually buy. That's the only thing we don't make in house. We buy the totes from Tennessee Distilling, and we just bottled at our place in Miami. So
Mm.
Damn. Hey man,
yeah,
I gotta talk about it though. Like y'all, you was a killer, but like you being part of that Killer B era and watching
yeah.
Ben,
Oh
watching
yeah.
L Bell, watching AB. What was that like?
Man, it was freaking amazing, right? And if I'm just telling people all the time, like, man, if you just seen us on paper, uh, man, we should have won what 2, 3 Super Bowls.
Hmm.
But I think it got to sometimes I think with social media was such a big pop at that point, right? Especially with all our guys, and I think it more like it bled into like you know instead of us like, because I'm very honest about it, right? I just felt like we weren't playing as a team, right? And I love all my guys together like, to death, but I just felt like, man, we played so well as a team, and like on the offense side of things, like during the regular season, but then like when it started to count towards at the very end, like man, we was like falling apart a little bit because maybe one guy wanted this way or another guy wanted that way. You know what I mean? Like, so like it just felt like, and I just sit back and I just, when you sit back and like really analyze it, you was just like, damn, man, we just could have did that part. You know what I mean? Like, it just took that extra step of just making sure everyone, just felt like it was all about everyone. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was like our biggest thing of that era that kind of hurt us. I think it was more got like about, who could be bigger than who at that point. You know what I mean? Because the contracts were so big at that point, and guys, all were, competing for that part of it. You know what I mean? But rightfully so, though, right? But I just felt like us as teammates, 'cause you've seen it, bro, how close we were and how brotherly we was, like how we didn't play so well at the right moments, right? Because if you look during the regular season, it's just like, man, these guys are killing it. But then I just felt like when it got to the crunch time, I don't know what it was. It was just always something that just broke us apart. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah,
mean, as teammates, I mean, you know how that is, bro. Like, man, sometimes when I look at it, because I don't want a championship on every single level, but man, what I will say, the brothership that we had outside of winning a championship, like man, it's unbreakable, right? Like man, these guys are the guys you still talk to all the time. You see them, and the moment whatever all that BS media stuff happened at that time, you just like man, that was a small glimpse of life, right? Like man, what we did was do some really cool things together, right? And I know the ultimate goal was to win the championship, but man, we did a lot of great things together. Number one off, biggest offense, the amount of yards and the amount of accolades guys had on our team, like where they went off and advanced their careers at other places and made other big movements and careers in their life. And I think since tonight we take for granted that part of it, right? Because man, yes, it is about when the ultimate goal. Hell yeah, I won the championship every single year. But at the end of the day, it's about building long term success for yourself and the type of accountability and as men. You know, what I mean, I think sometimes we forget because as we're growing in that game, like I know I keep saying that we're adults, but like man, it's still like a game, right? And like you don't really wake up to that reality part. But I think for us, like man, when I look on that coming like from this part of it, I'm more analyzing, be like, man, you know what? We created men at that time. Like man, all of us grew up, mentally. Like it was slips that we all kind of had because we all get prideful in our way. But like man, when you look at the end of the day and you look back on it, like man, I love everything what the path we went to because it made the men we are today. You know what I mean? So
well, I'll say this: like you were always the big brother to the group. Like I
mm-hmm.
watched you after the New Orleans game, and Juju had that fumble, and you stick up for that dude. Like you didn't have to
100%.
do that, and like
Because I think fans sometimes they don't know how like man, these guys work so freaking hard. Like
yeah,
Juju is one of those players that you're like, man, I can't ever question him because you know why? I know what he does in all season. I know how much work he puts in practice. Like you see the part when a guy's really playing injured. And like people don't understand. You know how hard it is to play injured. It's already
hmm
hard enough to play when you're not injured. But when you got something going on and you got something that's nagging you and you're like, I can't take that extra step. Like, man, the guys that actually went, man, go out there and fight through it. You just like, man, I don't care if he had a fumble, like, because at the end of the day, like, man, hell, I know it sucks at that moment right there, but like, we need them bigger than this moment. You know what I mean? Because the season gets long. You know,
and you're right. Did you learn that at Florida?
100%. I think, man, we got lucky, Ken. I mean, I think my career path and the coaches I had, like the teammates I had, ours was a little bit different. So like when I view things, I've never really been on a sorry team and like tried to like change the whole entire layout of how everything's there, the culture, bringing other play. Like I never had that part of it, right? We was always like in high school. I grew up with everyone around us. We all went to the same high school. You know what I mean? Like that was
Mm.
all of us that we kind of did together. In college, man, I would, when we went there, they was already coming off kind of like a really good championship team. They had Tebow, they had Percy, they had a really good top recruiting class. Like there's already guys implanted there at the organization, right? We go there, win a championship, things carry on. I go to the Steelers, and I mean, I walk into the building, and we got the number one defense in the world. You know what I mean? Like these dudes were on the front of magazines when magazines weren't even. I mean, when media wasn't even big back then. You know what I mean? Like Troy Polamalu has a Head and Shoulder commercial before even some people had commercials. You know what I mean? Like now I see I see everyone in sports on commercial. You know what I mean? Like, but Troy was one of them dudes before. Like he was like one of the guys that had it before it was actually a thing. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
so it was just different at that time, right? And on the opposite side, walking in, Big Ben's already won a Super Bowl. Like he's already won the MVP of it. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit differently on the teams I've been around in my career. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just more carried on the tradition of what I've always learned from little league straight to high school to college to the NFL. You know what I mean? Like there was no point in my career to where there was like, oh man, this would totally suck. You know what I mean? So
All right, I'm gonna
What was
let
oh no,
go
go
ahead,
ahead. Go,
Hayden,
go.
and then you can
What
go
was
with
your
your game.
recruitment like? What was your and your brother's recruitment like to Florida,
oh
Maurkice?
man, it was awesome. Coach Meyer did an unbelievable job. I think he, you know, he did a good job of like, you know, making it about family, right? And I think sometimes, especially in recruiting, like man, you gotta, especially when you come from, you know, poverty side of things, your family wants to feel like there's someone there that man that they don't have to be there on a day to day basis. Not saying Florida State didn't have that because they had an amazing coaching staff with Odell Higgins, but it was more at that time. Bobby Bowden was a lot older, and he didn't, you know, he wasn't the same as what the you know Coach Meyer was. But our recruiting was unbelievable. You know, I mean, we got recruited by everybody in the nation. Like it's pretty cool when you go through it, especially like not knowing because no one knows, right? And when the letters start rolling in, you're just like, oh man, this is crazy. Like this is how they view it, and the coaches start coming to practice, and you're like, oh man, well, you know, you're going along for the ride. Like me and Mike never missed a day of school in our whole entire life until our 11th grade year when we was getting recruited.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we was never sick. Like when we were sick, we went to school. You know what I mean? Because who was gonna watch us? Mom has to go to work. Dad has to go. Like we can't sit there and figure it out ourselves. Like sick or not, you know you're gonna sit in that clinic. You know what I mean? but but that recruiting part of it, I will say like it more felt our time of it, and I don't know what it is. It feels like everything's a little bit different now with the whole NIL process. But at that time, it was more, you know, you wanted to feel like you was going someplace to where your family felt like, man, it was family there, right? So that was our biggest thing. NIL now it feels like, man, guys are going, where everybody gets paid the most at. So
Bro, you were already enrolled like what in December?
yeah, we went early. So we did the whole spring football with them. Literally, we're on campus that same week they flew out to Scottsdale. So we was there at the party. Like we seen everyone run outside, you know, standing on the light poles. Like we was a part of that part of it. Not even playing it down, you know what I mean, a practice. We just, you know, just checked into the school doing classes, you know what I mean, doing some workouts.
Bro, you don't even remember I was there like on my recruiting visit
Yeah.
with it was me, Chris Rainey, and Carlos Dunlap.
Yes. Yeah, done that,
And
yeah.
David Nelson was my recruiting my host.
Uh-uh.
And he took me to he
Uh-uh.
took
See
me to
that's why we didn't get you.
he
You
took
know
me
who
to a
mine
Spikes
was? Man,
party.
they had us with Jarvis Moss.
Oh shoot.
I'm
But
like, man, you know.
he took me to a Spikes party. And I remember going and being like, yeah, I don't know, this is for me. This is a little
Yeah,
bit crazy.
yeah, Lee, Florida. You see what happened? They had to slide you that check, Cam, to bring you there. Get you outside of Ohio. Come on, let's be real.
Man, we all made the right decision.
How's your brother doing there, man?
What's up?
How's your brother doing?
He's doing good. He's good. He's learning and you know he's getting more playing time. But man,
I see that. He does a good job about that too, especially every time you get that ball
he
and
love
get
it,
forward. You get up that field.
man.
I will say, how cool is that, bro? Like, man, you get to play with your brother there. I mean, you've been on. I mean, you're still a great. Let's be real. I know I'm going into the Hall of Honor, but the moment you retire, you'll do the same exact thing. Like, don't get it crazy. I mean, like, you're one of them guys in the planet there. So the simple fact, your brother got to play there with you. TJ, his brother got to play with him. I always wanted that, so luckily me and Mike got to play one time together at the Pro Bowl. But to go there on a day to day basis, to drive to practice, you know, like to do some of the cool, you know how it is, bro. Like, man,
Yeah,
I'm a little jealous of y'all boys. I ain't gonna lie.
bro. Like you get to relive like your rookie year and like see it through like different eyes, and like I get
hmm
to tell him like, nah, this is what Mike T really trying to say, or like I get to tell him like, no, like this is how we approach things. But like
hmm
it's really cool to like have your brother and be like, damn, like he always been my little brother, but now he's my damn teammate, and so I got to treat him completely different.
And I just know they do 1,000%. Yeah, yeah. I can't act too soft with it, you know what I mean? But the craziest part is that what I was about to tell you, that's crazy. Like I want to think about him. Dang, bro.
Well, Pounds, the one time I
I don't
lined
know.
up
I was
on
forgot.
Connor and like it was the first time I ever lined him. I was like,
Oh, no, that's what I was about to say. I said, you know, Coach T, he ain't up, man. Coach T is a very honest player, and I hate sometimes when the stigma part of it. Oh, man, the brother's there because it's the older brother there. You know, this part of it. Man, your brother can play football. Same thing when Derek Watt came. Derek Watt came there, like, man, Derek Watt can play football. You know what I mean? Like, so like it was pretty cool, like to see that part of it. You know what I mean? I told my brother maybe you weren't good enough to come play with me. Then you know what I mean? That's
oh, you just trying to get Mike pissed off.
why.
Well, Pounds, I appreciate you. I'm gonna let Hayden handle
Yeah,
it with
man.
this last game right here.
All right, Maurkice, we play a game here called This or That. I give you 2 options. You got to pick one, all right?
Okay.
All right, better atmosphere, the Swamp or Heinz Field?
Ooh, man, the swamp, man. I'm a Gator, man. I'm a Gator, swamp.
Better athlete, Percy Harvin or Antonio Brown?
Oh,
Percy Harvin.
Better quarterback, college Tim Tebow or professional Ben Roethlisberger?
Oh, Ben Roethlisberger by days, nights, years.
favorite
Better
quarterback, Ben or Tebow?
Roethlisberger by years, 1,000%. I still talk to Tim. I love Tim, man. I love Tim to death, man.
better coach, Mike Tomlin or Urban Meyer?
Mike Tomlin by years.
All right, rather go against 1v1, Casey Hampton or Cam Heyward?
Man, I can't do that, man. They're too great. You gotta give me don't why that one? Why them?
I had Haloti Nada on there originally, but then when you said Hampton, I was like, I'm gonna throw Hampton in there instead.
See, that's
Sorry.
what I was saying. I'd rather go against Haloti Nada than Cam.
All right, that's
Cam's
fine.
Cam no Cam. You know why? Because man, it's so hard to go against your teammates because you play them every single day, right? You're
Yes.
practicing against them every single day. They know everything you're about to do. You know what I mean? So like, it's a little bit differently playing against a guy you're there every single day around. You
All
know?
right, my last one for you. Growing up, who would win in a fight, you or your brother?
Man, me and I'm still winning them. Now 100%. Come on, man. Y'all see.
Watch, we're gonna see a boxing match between y'all two one
No,
of
one
these
hundred
days.
percent. He's probably gonna beat my ass now. He's gonna film it for you. But
All right.
man,
Oh, I got
Well,
thank y'all
Pound,
so much, man. Great time, man. I love you to death, Cam. Keep being great, bro. Never ever change who you are, bro. Because I'm telling you right now, you still running around out there like it's year 1 and 2 for you. So
man, Pounce, I appreciate you. I learned a lot from you, man. It was a pleasure to work with you. Pleasure to just compete. Like this team isn't this team without you. No matter how long you gone, everybody gonna still remember Maurkice Pouncey, and Mike T
hey,
still gonna be showing clips.
and I was about to say, hey, Coach T, I love you to death, dog, because I know you hold me down over there, baby. I already know it.
All right, pals,
Love
appreciate
y'all.
you.
All right, man. Take care, y'all.
All right, Cam, it's your, mine, and the fans' favorite game to play that you are now, I'm going to just say, contractually obligated to play. Any question asked, you must answer. Ask Cam anything. You guys know the rules. Go to our socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you find us. Ask Cam a question, and he will answer it. Okay, you ready to go?
Wait. And don't forget, you can also leave a hashtag for Ask Hayden and anything, too.
No.
And it will take off as well.
No, there's no contract there. Let's just move on. All right, who on the team has the worst taste in music, and what are they playing?
Cool. Worst taste in music. Man, Cole Holcomb was playing some trash. I got to be honest. There was some stuff on there. I was like, "What do we listen to?" No, I'm just kidding.
This feels like you just don't like his genre music. I'm guessing it's country music. I assume this is what I'm assuming here. Like this is a Two Americas thing. Okay, that's what that is.
I won't say we don't have a lot of guys who play bad music, but some of the stuff I'm like, the mumble rap takes over. I'm like, that is not a good thing to listen to. Like nobody understands it, and it just sounds like straight noise.
I would imagine if we asked younger teammates, they would probably say you. I bet you're listening to older rap or stuff they don't like.
I mix it in, bro. I'm
Do
old,
you?
new. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Which teammate talks the most trash at practice?
At practice? Oh.
Yeah.
He's not with us right now, but I would say Braden Fajoko. Big shout out to him. He talked a lot of trash during practice, trying to bat balls, and we even had a nickname for him. We called him Aaron McDonald. But man, he loved to get after it during practice. He was a monster on the field, and he actually provided a really good look for the group. I think guys who get after it during practice, it only prepares everybody for the game.
Nice. All right. Do you have any pregame rituals, and are you superstitious about anything?
My one pregame ritual is I have to make a music playlist before every single game. That's just something I've always done. I always have to have newer songs, and then I add like some of my songs I've had from past weeks. But that's something I always have to do, or I feel like it's just incomplete.
If you were a team guy, you would have said also a pumpkin spice latte every Sunday before a game. But I guess I
could have found a Starbucks in Ireland, so I can't say
really.
But
wow.
PSLs are always down for the boys.
Nice. All right. This is from our friend Josh Cashman. Are you ready to change your Jordan Davis take from last year after he ran 20 mile per hour after blocking a kick? Remember last year you said you thought his 40 time was fake and that you were faster than him. Do you care to rebuttal this?
I will say he's in much better shape now. And
that is true. That is true.
He looks like he's in much better shape, and he is playing out of his mind. It wasn't a hate on him. Like, I still think he's a really good player. But I ain't changing what I said. I'm standing on it.
But you think you could beat him in a race?
Yeah.
No chance, Cam. You're 36 years old.
Okay.
Like, he's 24.
Hey, bro, I can still win get-offs. That's just what I do.
That's all that matters. I'm just saying in a 40-yard dash, I'd take it Jordan Davis. When he's 36, I think maybe you'd be faster. But right now,
what? We can add Josh Cashman to this too. We can race his ass too if we want to. All right, guys, and that is our episode with Maurkice Pouncey. Thank him so much for coming on. Got to learn a lot. Got to hear a bunch. But like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Go Steelers. Thanks for Starbucks for their support. There are 3 things that always define the fall: football, cardigans, and Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. It's time to embrace fall with this seasonal classic pumpkin spice latte. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, pumpkin, and then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Get it while it's hot or iced.